A woman's boyfriend asked to be put on house title after moving in. Let's check this out. So this is going to be interesting. Moving in with a significant other is a really big step. It signifies that you're comfortable enough to let someone into every aspect of your life, effectively giving up your personal space and alone time. It goes further than that, however. That special someone is going to be privy to your less glamorous or prepared moments. Do you brush your teeth like an animal with foam going all over the place? They'll see that. Maybe you spend too much time on the toilet scrolling through social media. They know that about you too. Or the fact that you'll sometimes pound 6 ice cream bars while cracking up at the same Tim and Eric sketch over and over again. That secret is officially out. I have no clue what Tim and Eric is. And then there's the question of finances, like splitting a rent/mortgage with your significant other. A lot's been written about the relationship ruining implications money disputes can have on couples. And when it comes to divvying up finances, when it comes to housing, there's almost always going to be someone who feels like they're getting shafted. And that is at the heart of this debate in a now viral TikTok posted by Erica Strong, Rodri. Let's see. Let's see. Erica is a realtor and she's relaying a story, although we don't know if it's her own or one told to her by a client, about a woman who owns a home and was asked by her recently moved in boyfriend to be put on the title. Obviously, there are massive financial implications associated with a move like this. If the home is ever sold, then that legally entitles her boyfriend to receive half of the property. And if there's a default on the mortgage, then the title holders involved will take a hit to their credit and lose equity from the house. The housing crisis in America is one that only seems to be worsening, with investment firms like BlackRock buying up affordable housing and then listing them for exponentially high prices, and house searching applications like Zillow getting in on the action. The American dream of having one's own place to hang their head up and call their own is an outcome that is looking less and less attainable for many. So the TikTok caused a stir in the comment section, with many folks urging the woman to break up with her boyfriend for even asking to be on the title. So, for example, this person says, "Absolutely not. And girl, be careful with that one. He pays for a couple things and thinks he's entitled to be on the deed. That's insane." There were others who suggested that the woman have the home refinanced, with the boyfriend putting up half of what the house's listing value is in equity under his own name and credit score. That just being added to the title for free wouldn't cut it. Well, I mean, none of this is actually a good idea, right? Like, here's the thing: you do not want to be partners in a home when you are legally not partners, right? Because basically, this is similar to two roommates buying a house together. Why would you ever do that? It'd be very different if this was like a husband and wife buying a house together, but not two roommates. And I say two roommates because when you're boyfriend and girlfriend living together, you're basically only, legally speaking, depending on the state, roommates. Now, there are some states where even if you're boyfriend and girlfriend, after living underneath the same roof for like I think 2 to 3 years, it varies between states. But some states, you're now legally viewed as partners and are entitled to half of that, half of the actual home. Now, again, that depends on the state. Don't know that much about those laws, but be careful with that too. So sometimes in some states, you may not even want to have your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever living underneath the same roof as you until you actually do get married. Others indicated that a conversation about shared home ownership should only take place if the two individuals in question were legally married. I agree. It is one of the worst financial choices that you could ever do in terms of buying a home with someone that you are not married to. Also, keep in mind, a home is basically the number one highest priced item in terms of what a person will actually buy in their lifetime. Typically. Let's see. There were some commentators who relayed their own stories who said that they were living in a home and their significant other is the legal owner of the house and it doesn't bother them at all. So my wife bought our house while we were still dating. Years later, we got married. Still in her name, doesn't bother me one bit. Yeah, feel free to give your thoughts on this. To me, the only time that you should ever buy a home with someone that you are with should only be when you're married to them. So buy the home after you were to actually be married to them. Now, another way that you could do it is have one person buy a home and keep it in their name. Like another way to actually think about it, say you have two people, one person has their own home, the other person has their own home, but they don't really want to sell their homes, right? But they are wanting to move in one and then rent in the other, right? Just keep the two homes separately in terms of like whose name they are in, right? So let's say like the husband has their own his own house, the wife has their own house, keep inside their own names, but live in one, rent out the other, but keep it separate, right? You could set it up that way, which actually wouldn't even be that bad of an idea because then you kind of feel like you're not screwing over the other person, like you're not shafting the other person, but also you're kind of like working together, right? There's like a compromise. But other than that, buy a home with someone that you are married to. I don't care if you're husband, wife, 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 husband, husband, whatever it is that you are, buy a home with your partner after you are married because you're going to find out that you probably bought a home that your partner doesn't actually want, which would be kind of an issue if you were paying for a mortgage on a house that the person that you're with doesn't actually want to live there. That seems kind of pointless at that point. Now, another reason why you don't really want to be buying a home with someone that you are not legally married to is for like actually quite a few reasons. One, it puts you at a very big financial risk because now you are basically co owners of this home, but you can't really do anything with the home unless the other person signs off on it. Because let's say you got two people, you're probably 50% owners of that home, meaning one person can't just make a choice with the home. You need both to agree on the thing. Now, let's say that you guys have a really bad split. Let's say that one person cheated on the other person. Let's say one person went to like prison for like 5 years or something, or is going to prison for 5 years or 10 years or whatever. You're now in a very big issue, right? You're in a very bad issue because you can't legally do anything without the other person's say so. Now, it might be a little bit different if, like, let's say that you were like a 55% owner and a 45% owner, then maybe that could maybe work in terms of like what to do with the home because you are the biggest owner, but the other person's still probably going to have to write off and like agree to it, right? Maybe you could like write down in some sort of like contract saying like this person has sole voting rights, meaning they choose whatever it is happens to the property, whether it's sold or not sold. Maybe that could work. But again, if the relationship goes bad, you're in a bad situation if you're not the one in control. So it's just a bad idea, right? This is really just a bad idea. And if your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever is wanting you to put them on your deed, you might want to reconsider that relationship. Like that's just something that you might need to do because this is just gonna put yourself at so much financial risk that the relationship should be in question. Because like that person is like really telling you to put yourself at massive financial risk just so that they feel a little bit better. Like, does that make any amount of sense? No, it doesn't. And they shouldn't have even asked that because they should know that that puts you at risk. You don't want that to happen. But you could talk about it and be like, hey, once we are married, then let's buy a home together. Like, I'll sell my home, you save up some cash, and we'll combine it together and buy a home together after we are legally married. That's the right way to do it. Stay tuned for more financial commentary, and if you want to learn how to get out of debt,